What?
Exam 3.
I mean, sorry, exam 2.
Okay.
Which will be in about 4 weeks. And I'll tell you the exact date. So in about a month. Consumer choice. So everything starting from now on is going to be on exam 2. How do we spend our limited income? Consumer choice is how do we spend our limited income. What information is needed? Well, we need to know what the income is of the person. We need to know the prices of the products. And we need to know their preferences, what they like or what they dislike. Another word for preference is utility. In economics, it's utility. I don't know, outside economics, it could mean something else. In economics, utility is a hypothetical measure of satisfaction. So the more you like something, the higher utility you get from it. So utility is a good concept to understand because we will be using it in the next few chapters and talking about it back and forth, back and forth. So utility basically is a measure of satisfaction, hypothetical satisfaction. It's made up. So when you like something more, the utility you get from it is higher. If you like something less, the utility or satisfaction you get from it is less. So the utility I get from drinking a beer is 10 euros, let's say, and the utility I get from drinking juice is 5 euros, right? So arbitrary numbers. I assigned arbitrary numbers. Drinking beer, 10 euros, drinking juice, 5 euros. But it's a measure of satisfaction given hypothetically, arbitrary numbers, given with arbitrary numbers. Why do we do this? Economists do this so they can measure up things. So they can actually do studies where they can measure human behavior. Why are people doing this? So they need numbers for it. So they just arbitrarily assign these numbers based on how much satisfaction humans get from this activity. Higher satisfaction, higher utility, higher number assigned. Lower satisfaction, lower utility, lower number assigned. and then you calculate it. And you do problems and research and studies based on it. With me, Sebastian? Stop daydreaming. Okay. So, these are the 3 things we need to know before we can say how they're spending their income. We need to know their income, the prices of the products, and their preferences or their utilities. Consumption possibilities is a budget line. Remember how we did production possibility before, where you could produce one thing or the other, but you could not do like maximum of both at the same time? The same thing we have with consumption. You can consume one thing or the other. It's not like you can consume everything at the same time because you have limited income. There's a budget constraint. Budget constraint means there is limited income and you can do some activities but not all the activities at the same time. At the same time. Because you have limited income. Because you have limited income. I was so surprised. Some of you got first question on the exam wrong, which was, what is the study of economics? And we talked about it in the first class, that economics is study of choice under conditions of scarcity. And I explained how when resources are limited, what choices do you make? And that's the study of economics. And a lot of you got that wrong. And I was like, what? It's in your notes. It was in your notes. So just like we had production possibility frontier before, where you could do either X or Y, now you're going to have a consumption possibility. So let's do an example. You have $40 to spend. On movies in theater versus at home. So you have been told your income, which is $40, and you have been told 2 activities you could do with that income. The 2 choices are you could either watch movies in the theater or you could watch movies at home. If price of theater, movies of watching in theater is $8, and price of home, watching movies at home is $4, what's the consumption budget looks like? What does the consumption possibility look like? That's the question. So on one axis we have home movies, on the y-axis we can have theater. Now, this is arbitrary. I could have put theater here or home movies here, it doesn't matter. With $40 of income, and if you divide that by $8, you could watch 5 movies maximum. With $40 of income and $4 for home movies, you could watch 10 movies at home maximum. So 5 movies in theater maximum and 10 movies at home. So if you spend all of your $40, all of your income in watching movies at the theater, one theater movie costs $8. So 40 divided by 8 is 5 movies. You'll be able to watch 5 movies in the theater if you use all of your income for watching movies in theater. If you use all of your income in watching movies at home it costs you $4 per movie. 40 divided by 4, you can watch 10 movies at home for $40 income. So the budget line for theater, the maximum is 5, and for home, it's 10. So this is basically income divided by price. Income divided by price. And that's how we got the 5 and the 10. This is your budget line. At any given point on this budget line, you could be doing a combination of both activities. So at this point in the budget line, you could be watching four movies in the theater, and so if you watch 4 movies in the theater, you have $8 left, right? And with $8, you can watch 2 movies at home. So at any given time on the budget line, these are the different possibilities of consumption. This is the maximum consumption of theater movies. This is the maximum consumption of home movies. But any other point on the curve are different possibilities of consumption. So any point on the budget line is different possibilities of consumption between home movies and theater. Home movies and theater. So this is, you spend all $40 divided by 8. This is $8 divided by 4 for movie, right?
Did you divide it by 8? What does it mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what does it mean. What is the meaning of 32 divided by 8?
That's the income.
Oh yeah.
8 times 4 is 32, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so you spend $32 on movies on the theater. Every movie costed you $8.
Yeah.
So you watched 4 movies in the theater. With the rest of the money at that same point on the curve, you spend the 8 remaining dollar of your income. So this is I. Remember, this is income divided by price. Price of the home movie is $4. So you could watch, with the remaining income, you could watch 2 movies at home. This is I divided by P. So this budget line is a consumption possibility frontier, just like we had a production possibility frontier.
Consumption possibility.
What if we say now that price of home movies go up to $5? So now this is a new scenario where it says price of home movies increase to $5. How will that affect your budget line? So before the income